Hi, it's Damian Callinan here. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're lying on a massage table in the club rooms, maybe in a country town. One of those vinyl ones. It's got a little hole for your face. If you inhale, you'll get a heady scent of liniment, oranges, sweat, stale beer, maybe even cigarette smoke. Barry has been at the club 27 years. Never played. He never even had sons who played. But he'd volunteered to be a trainer. One day he wasn't there. The next day he was. And he's been there ever since. Now he's pounding your calves like an Italian pastry chef, turning spelt flour into tiny little nuggets of gnocchi. Gnocchi and spelt flour dough don't have nerve endings, but you do. Barry's touching those nerve endings. Your eyes are watering. It's good hurt. And besides, it's worth it, 'cause you're just about to play one more game. No one's sporting career ends how we hoped. Whether it's country footy, suburban netball, masters curling in Iceland. Never quite goes to script. Sure, there's the odd romantic story you hear. Buffer snagging 12 from the half-forward flank in the grand final and getting married the weekend after. Going on his honeymoon to Bali. Turns out the footy trip's there at the same time. Nothing ever works out as perfectly as that. Often our last game is the opposite. Like my last game. I played suburban country Australian rules football. I loved it. Played it from the age of 8 to 30. My last game, I was playing against my old club. The old Bradians old boys. I'd captained their under-19s. Played a couple of years in seniors. And ruptured my eardrum in the last practice match. And was told I had to miss the entire season. Hey, it's not a big deal. But when you're 21 and your best footballing days are right there on the shelf ready to pick up. That hurts. The club showed no sympathy. They rang me 3 weeks later and asked me to return my jumper. I went away after that. Football journeyman. I played in Darwin, the Northern Territory Football League. Oh, so fast, the grass so green. A wet season would dump rain on the ground, and the sun would dry it, seemingly within minutes. I'd never played such fast and beautiful football. And a year in country Queensland. Australian rules is not the preferred sport in country Queensland. So we'd have to travel up to 800 kilometres for away games. To grounds only recently vacated by livestock, sometimes still inhabited by livestock. One ground at the Kabbalah barracks outside Toowoomba was an artillery practice range. The few tufts of grass on that field hung on like an alopecia sufferer who's given up caring. The potholes were big enough to hide in if more artillery came in. Every player had their ankles trapped by Barry that day. No time to pummel our calves. It was all about prevention. I came back to Melbourne. The phone call where they'd asked for my jumper back still ringing in my ears. So I played for another team. Whitefriars, old collegians. I had friends there. It was close to work. It felt right. But I'd forgotten what the amateurs in Melbourne in winter is like. The pace of my game that I'd perfected in the more temperate northern places of our country, that didn't matter anymore. So I was playing in quagmires that made the battlefields of the Somme look like manicured croquet fields. The last game I played for Whitefriars Old Collegians was against the Old Paradians. There were quite a few of my old teammates playing for Whitefriars, and a rivalry had burnt between the two teams. It was not of my doing. It's just happenstance that I ended up there. Regardless, the crowd turned on me. Oh, they turned. They turned like a jilted lover, watching her debutante partner do the Pride of Erin with her best friend. I copped abuse. I was called Custard Guts. That was not my nickname. That was my brother's nickname at the club. But I wasn't going to throw him under the bus. He wouldn't have liked it, because he's a Custard Guts. At half time, as I walked off the field to the jeers of my old team and the community, I was confronted by Frank Coughlin. Beautiful Frank Coughlin. A trainer at the club since God knows when. I'd played with his son in the under-19s. I'd captained his son. He had been my trainer. He stopped me in my tracks and he called me a word that would probably interrupt your propulsion towards sleep. Grillsy, our assistant coach, put his arm around me. Grillsy, also an ex-parady, and he knew what was afoot here. The third quarter I came out and I played the best quarter of football I'd played all year. I was on everything. I was racking up possessions like someone with a stolen car racks up parking fines. Early in the last quarter, the guy who'd been calling me custard guts all day sat vulnerably under the flight of the ball. I was never a dirty player. I never got reported. I never punched anyone. But I wanted him, so I ran, hoping I might be able to punch the ball and maybe take him out in the process. So I sprinted. I leapt into the air as the ball started its gravity-bound descent to the hard surface of the Garvey Oval on Plenty Road. And I punched and missed the ball and my antagonist. The exertion twisted my body, so as I too began to return to earth, my foot hit the ground as my body was rotating, and I fractured my femoral condyle and tore my anterior cruciate ligament. The first person to attend me as I lay writhing in agony was Frank Coughlin, and he chaired me off the ground, all forgiven. You're a good man, Frank. You just had a bad moment. But then you had a really, really good moment. So yeah, I dream about that one more game, as many of us do. Mine is Aussie rules. Yours can be whatever it wants to be. But I decided I would talk about Aussie rules because it's one of my loves, and it's a sport that's played in only one country and only half of that. So I'm trying to jeopardise the potential of this recording being accessible in international markets. So you're on the strapping table. Barry's finished your calves. The coach is reading out the team again. You're playing in your favourite position. Maybe that's centre half forward. Maybe it's the wing. That was mine. Maybe you like starting on the interchange bench, easing your way into the game. You're wherever you want to be. You're playing against your most hated team. The team that just always brought that little bit extra out of you. Maybe they were a bit mouthy. Maybe they were dirty. Maybe their showers were always cold. As cold as the pies in their wretched canteen. The hot dogs were always boiled almost white. The only sweets they sold were giant pythons, hardened in the sun and stuck together. You run out in the field. Your team step back because you're playing. You're back. You get to lead the team out. As you go out through the gate, and Smackers puts out his smoke against the brick wall. The crowd part, they've all come out to see you. There's an avenue of adulation slapping your back as you make your way clip-clopping down the concrete steps. For concrete turns into punctured, flat mud. Through that gate, in front of you is a banner, the biggest banner you've ever seen. With an ode to you on one side and a picture of you on the other, holding a child in your last game. If you don't have a child, make it a kitten or a dog. Maybe a soft toy. It's up to you. It's your game. The team wait. You take it in. And you start to sprint. The ground's in perfect nick. Nigel, who does the lines, has done a really good job this day. There's no little crooked bits. There's no gaps. It's just a perfect row of white broken by the interchange lines and the goalposts. Great work, Nigel. You hit the banner. Your hands open it. It's like velvet. Just tears where you want it to. You clutch at pieces of it. The entire banner comes away in your hands. You throw it in the air. The wind catches it. Flies off over the field, with your least favourite member of the cheer squad still attached to the guy ropes. Snickers won't be giving you the shits from the boundary today, as he's sailing over suburbia. He'll land safely, but also safely away from the ground, too far away to get back in time to watch your last game. Piss off, Snickers. The opposition are already out on the ground and idle. You're tossing the coin today. Yeah, you. It's tails. You won. You kick with the wind. But the wind will be on your side all day. It's going to change at the perfect moment to make you always have the advantage. Teams take their positions. Your opponent is shorter than you, slightly balding. You'd seen him in the run-throughs. He was at least 2 or 3 metres behind the group all the time. Ball comes out of the middle, flies high. Your opponent's trapped underneath the ball. You've got a perfect run-up, a stepladder to the football gods as you climb the slightly pudgy number 47. Your feet stand on his shoulders. You look down. You can almost see your reflection in the pate of his prematurely balding head. You look up to see the ball slightly going to the right. You push off Pudgy 47's shoulders and dive perpendicular. The ball sticks in one hand. The crowd go berserk. You land on both feet. Pudgy is not happy, but you help him up. He thanks you. You nod. This day's not all about you. The more you make it about the others, the better it'll be. So you handball off. Philbo wasn't ready for it. Just hits him on the thigh and drops to the ground. Pudgy picks it up and takes off through the centre. He looks over his shoulder and it gives you a smirk like, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have given a sucker an even break, so you take off after him. He takes a bounce. He takes a second bounce. But he's not very good at bouncing, and it slows him down. He gets to the centre circle, and you tackle him in a textbook tackle from behind, slightly turning him as you fall so you don't land on his back. You land together on your sides, spooning. The ball is spelt free. It's popped out like a quail egg. It's just popped out of, not surprisingly, a quail. You hold him. You stay like that for a little bit too long, just to make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. Before you get up and take your free kick, you're at least 90 metres from goal, but you know this is your day, and you're going to make it your day. You go back. You haven't kicked a torpedo for 7 years. Haven't practiced it. You know the mechanics. You know what should happen. So you let it rip. You can tell by the sound it's good. It sounds like a trampoline being bounced on by a Olympic standard trampoline, and not a fat bloke who's pissed has wandered out the back and decided to have a jump and ends up falling off and breaking his ankle. Not that sound on a trampoline, the good sound. It pings and it flies on an arc trajectory. It sails through the goalposts about 3/4 high. And every horn around that ground in every car sounds long and loud. Even cars driving past toot. Even cars in driveways nearby with no one in it toot. Even a traffic jam in Jakarta, several thousand kilometres away. Rickshaws toot. The goal that you kicked, that started one of the greatest games ever played, in your one last game. It's your day. It's the best day. People in that club will talk about it forever. The football you kicked 90 metres will sit going brown, deflating on a trophy behind the bar, until it probably gets thrown out eventually, but it looks shit house. It's your day. Well done. Enjoy your massage. Good night.